Hello everyone and welcome back to another game night. I'm wanting to do a little bit more of this. I figured, I do have the ability to have kind of like my own second series, and that's going to be doing a little bit more of these, hopefully. And I recently picked this game up because I have been wanting to, and I want to say this game is fantastic. I love it. I'm not going to do any story stuff because I don't want to spoil it for you guys. Because, man, does this game have a lot going for it. It's got a beautiful story on it. There might be some story, just simply because this game is so story heavy. It is very much on that end. And this is like your options menu of selecting what you want to do. Do you want to look up stuff that has different meanings across the world, and it gives you a little bit more information about it, which is actually kind of cool. I can sit here and go through it, but honestly, there's a lot to it. And for example, like how people actually cast kind of basically magic in this game. They do it by alchemy, and this is how they actually do it with ragnite, which is a mineral with mystic power. Discovery and development of this mysterious crystal led to a new age of industry called the Azure Revolution. Due to its versatility, the importance and rarity of this energy source has led to numerous wars across the globe. Ragnite is categorized into 4 types according to its international standards: fire, wind, earth, and water. However, 2 high purity elements exist in which defy traditional categories. These are known as dark and light ragnite. I've played about, as you saw when I was loading it, I'm on chapter 5, and I believe it's out of 12? Out of 10. So I'm almost halfway through. And it's basically like a storybook. It will give you your cutscenes, you do your battles, it'll add more onto this book. And one of the cool things, I'll actually go to one of the beginning one. Hold on, let me actually. I do wish you could actually go back and choose which chapter from the beginning instead of having to just flip through it. That's one of the things I have a problem with. But hey, minor issue with it. But to kind of give you an idea, here is basically what one of the small cutscenes in this game is. If it would load. Oh boy. Oh, there we go. Now it's loading. I will say the loading screens can take a little bit. It doesn't take too long, but sometimes a little bit. And this is kind of like the town square.
The response to your column's been amazing.
Well, you did a lot to promote it.
What do you say to working for us again? You're single-handedly boosting sales. I'm sure we could swing you more money if that's what you want.
Nah, the freelance life suits me.
Fair enough. If you ever change your mind, just let me know. Honestly, ever since you left, the whole paper's editorial tone has shifted slightly.
Oh yeah?
It's like no one's afraid to speak up anymore. I bet readers have noticed the change as well. Just walking down the street, I can tell things are different now. Ever since we took back Molda, the fog of Ruse's oppression has lifted.
Still, it would have been better to avoid war altogether. But since that ship's already sailed, I suppose the people who pushed for it must shoulder that responsibility.
You say that like you had a hand in it.
Of course not.
Just do what you do best. Right. We're all waiting to see what you come up with next.
Now, this is about a story of 5 different people, and this was a cutscene from one of them, who is a writer. Each one of the 5 people at the end, it tells you this at the very beginning, were considered traitors. And were basically executed. And the young man that's holding the book right now is actually learning more, the true story behind them all, because it's kind of, there's a lot of lies in what the history books have said. Now, after you fill up a page, you can actually go and read through here, and you'll see he makes his own notes to the side. And you can read to the side, it says Vanguard, the anti-Valkyria squad led by Captain Amlet Gronkair were Jutland's most elite soldiers. They were not only they not only had high Ragnite aptitude, but also exceptional physical and mental prowess. Many of the training techniques they pioneered are still used by Jutland's army today. And then his notes. Godot Villefort, Vanguard XO, and Royal Guard seems to have been a man of remarkable prestige. He was also he and the Pritness witnessed Amlet's acts of revenge at Mulda, which explains the wariness he had for Amlet after that. So, of course, there's a lot more to that. And if you want to continue the story, you talk to this lady here, who is a professor.
Then allow me to continue.
It is a bit odd. Sometimes it actually... excuse me. Sometimes it'll actually get to a point where she's actually fixing her hair quite a bit before she actually does that, so it's kind of like loading what you're about to get into. It only usually happens if you hadn't been playing, if you had just started the game up. I'm actually quite surprised it didn't do it. Alright. Now, pretty much with any of the games, you've got any RPG-ish game. I'm not sure exactly how to classify this. It's kind of like an RPG with war tactics, and also it's a beat 'em up. So it's a little bit of everything in that regard. But you put your gear on, but apparently you can't set it to each person, so it's only for pretty much everybody, which I guess is okay. And and you get to change like what you want to do. So if you want to have a better efficiency with using your gun, the one I actually made, you might want to pick that. But this one, I actually like it a lot because I like using the grenades. They're actually really useful. And also I had the experience up off of this pouch here. And this lady here actually will make you your custom stuff here. Oh, launcher ammo up. That's kind of nice. Although I really like my EXP up. Let's see what else. Guard strength up. I actually don't guard all that much. I probably should do a lot more of that. Mine resistance. Yeah, there's some land mines you gotta be wary of. Gun resistance, melee resistance, earth, wind, water, fire, defense up. I think if anything, I'm going to want... Let's see... I would say probably... grenade range up. Gun accuracy up. And grenade... effect... Yeah, let's do grenade effect. Alright. And then you commission the gear. You pay just a small fee. It's actually not that bad. Of course, you can buy some extra stuff to make your equipment with this. And from there, you can see some of your squad just hanging out in town. But this lady over here is someone you're probably going to be visiting a good bit of. And she actually sells Ragnite. Now, it's like, oh, that's pretty nice. All of this for just $270. That's not bad. Well, no, it's not. But also, it's not that great. The reason why I'm saying that is because it's all rank 1. And there's no way to level it up. You have to find higher ranks of Ragnite if you actually want to be effective with this, with your alchemy. And as you can see, the power, while this one has the most power out of the fire ones, it only targets one person. And this one targets an area. And I'm actually going to buy a few of these, and there's a reason why. I'll keep it at that. I don't want to buy too many. I want to have some ready cash. And from here, we can actually pick from one of 5 places. And as far as I know, this is the only 5 places you're going to have. Of course, the place you got to go is going to be indicated by the little exclamation point. But we're going to go to the factory, which is another place you're actually going to be going to quite a bit. Don't worry, we'll actually do some fighting. Probably a lot of fighting, but it's going to be preceded by a little bit of this because I want to show it off. You got your R&D, which is you develop your weapons, and you can then equip them to your units. I think, yeah, there's the smoke grenades, and yeah, the upgrades are starting to cost a little bit of money. Yes, but no. Yes, but no. Alright. Well, I guess since there's just one more. Alright, let's just go with that. And you have the rifles, the launcher, so yeah, like literal rocket launchers, a sniper rifle, your grenades, and that's it. But you can also upgrade their melee weapon. So the main weapon people are going to be using in this game to attack is their melee weapon. Now this is the main character, Amlet's weapon. I've upgraded it quite a bit because he's the main character and I'm wanting to try to max out its potential. And as you can see, it increasingly will get more and more expensive the further you go along, or depending on what you're going after. See, like these cost 11, but this gives him 5 plus on his rank with fire, so he can do up to 15 rank on the Ragnite. And as you can see, each one of these will give plus 10 experience. This is how you actually level them up, and this is why I bought a couple of the Burnfield. Simply because any of the Ragnite you buy will give 10 experience points. And I always like to kind of top it off if it's like 10 or less with something that's just going to give 10 that I bought at the store. Makes a lot more sense. And as you can see, this is like a 13, a 9. This is stuff I got on missions. But as you can see, these have, even though these are the same rank, this one will actually give more experience because it's got more stuff added onto it. And it actually costs less on the RP because of the ability attached to it. So that's something you want to look at. So do you want to get 3 extra experience, or do you want to keep that so you can have pretty good ability down the line? Me, I'm waiting. I'd much rather have the better ability, so we'll add that. And like this one does not have anything attached to it, but it is a higher rank. It does more power, but it's only 3 compared to the this one right here. While this will cost 10, this only costs 5. It's a lot. Even though it doesn't do as much damage, it actually is a lot better than that. And this one has an anti-sapper, which is a class base, so it's going to do more damage to a certain class. I'm going to actually, but I am keeping this mainly because it's called Halo Wind, because it's the upgraded ability. I'm trying to keep like one of every ability in this sense. But like in this case, I got 3 Halo Squall, but this one doesn't have anything on it, and honestly, this right here is going to be most likely going to be my pick if I get put this ability on somebody when someone reaches that rank. So yeah, and this is only for sappers, so only a few people can actually have it. So yeah, I'm going to add that in there. Let's see, also, yeah, we're gonna upgrade that. Get a lot of discharge. A ton of it. Alright. Ah! Awesome. So we're gonna go ahead and hit 100.
Pretty good.
And there you go. He's already at level... He's got 15 on his rank. I won't... I'll spare you from going through the whole thing of upgrading everybody, because that can take a while. But, as you can see, there's a ton of abilities that I can switch to, and all of it will depend on my rank. Alright, and this one is a shock-only ability, which he is a shock class, and hey, it does a good bit of damage. And, you know what? Yeah, let's give him the Wheel Blaze. Alright, and we can also change him from doing the... Oh, gee, thanks for letting me know. There, okay, there we go. Alright, he has an 11, but I don't have too many Earth abilities that are amazing, unfortunately. The best one that I like the most is this, but someone else has it. Let's actually do the gravity. Or, huh. Actually, you know what? I'd rather have the shock smash Earth. Alright. But anyway.
Yo.
You can also set up your different, I guess I should also show it. You can also set up your different secondary weapons. So your grenades and your guns you can also set up from here as well. I'll be honest, it's kind of embarrassing, but it took me up until probably chapter 4 somewhere in there to actually know that this is how you do that. Because I didn't know how to change people's... if you had the chance to actually change that, but you do.
See ya.
Yeah, kind of embarrassing, but hey. It never actually... If it did tell me, I completely skipped over it, but I don't think it actually ever told me that. Alright. And you're going to spend a lot of time in this part, the Vandergen HQ. You can also buy your healing supplies here.
Well done.
I've found that while it's kind of nice to the stuff they have, it's honestly... Oh, the price of that went down. It used to be a lot more expensive. But as you see, the most I have is this, and I've hardly used it. Mainly because I bought that much because of a certain character that just kept it inflicting status elements, and I was just like, alright, I had enough of that. But you're not going to be using these too often, if at all. I've had to use it maybe in 2 or 3 2 missions because I wasn't able to heal myself normally. So it's not that often that you'll actually need to do that. The report is basically you completing certain tasks in battle. Honestly, if you just actually play the game, you'll do a lot of these with no problem. You don't have to really go too much out of your way to do it. Like with the alchemy, like failing enemies with an alchemy or a rifle or something, you might have to go a little bit out of your way, but I wouldn't think you would have to. Now, as far as missions go, there are a few the type of missions. There are story missions that are going to be indicated like by that. A free mission, which is a pretty much you go through it, and there's no consequence if you win or lose it. It's just you can do this as many times as you want. Battle missions, which these are actually very, very vital. There's actually a area that I lost because I didn't do the battle as soon as I actually got it, and I lost the area. It's the Dunfalst area that's up closer to where the book is, on the top right. And I actually looked and I was like, did I screw myself up? Do I have to replay the game to actually keep that area? No, while it isn't ours and we don't actually gain the benefit of actually having that, because there is a benefit to it, you are able to retake it. And that's actually one of the trophies, to retake an area that the Ruzi Empire actually takes. But we will do one of these because they're actually something you don't want to ignore, and you want to do it as quickly as possible. Now this is actually just talking about what you have to do to complete the mission. It's like the Ruse has invaded Ralgorod, and we need to intercept and help defend the area. Our job will be defending the main base in this area, and to defeat the enemy commander. Unfortunately, their commander is hanging back. We shall have to wait just for the right time to launch our attack. If night comes, there's a chance that the Valkyria might appear, so keep an eye on the time. That's all for now. Vandergen dismissed. Yeah, that's also another thing. While you're fighting, it can turn nighttime, and if it turns nighttime, oh boy, it can go bad for you. You can actually fight the Valkyria off. I've done it, and you get a trophy for it. But it is extremely difficult. Now, you can change your team however you see fit. Blum's honestly one of my favorite characters in this. He's just really strong. He's probably one of the strongest magic casters you'll have. Even though it's a competition between these two. And we'll have Ophelia, and we'll kind of shake it up a little bit. I do want to shock. Let's have Helena. Let's actually switch her to be front, and we'll actually switch Blum out for Gorder. We'll go with that, and we'll deploy the squad from here. And I'll show you how the combat works. And I gotta admit, this game is just so much fun. Oh man. Alright. We have to defend the place. The sprites do have their quirky moments where it looks a little bit weird, but overall it's not bad. Alright. You press the triangle button and you'll bring up your little radial choice of what ability you want to cast, or if you want to use one of your secondary weapons. I think I just want to throw a grenade out to these bad guys and just give them a message. Boom. And you do have a little bit of time before you can use your ability, before you can attack again. But it's really not that long. It's almost nothing, really.
Try this out.
And it's pretty much you just have one button to just do a normal attack, and then you can choose from your abilities what you want to do. And that's pretty much it. You've got your dodge roll and your guard, but I more dodge roll than actually using a guard. And you can shoot people up close, or you could actually snipe people, and that's what the sniper rifle's for. It pretty much, you get critical damage if you hit somebody with a if you hit them in the head with the gun. But other than that, there isn't too much else.
Here comes the boy. Stronger than
Alright. Well, the enemy reinforcements arrived. Not that that was too much of a surprise, but... Alright. Oh, I got all 3 of them behind the guy, but I didn't get him. How about that? Alright. Can I... No? Oh, I was hoping to actually hit the guys behind him. Alright, I've kind of shown off what she can do. You can actually switch between your characters as well by pressing the up or down on the D-pad. I'll go to down so I can play as Sarah. She's your magic caster. And normally they will only have 4, but each one of the magic casters, both her and Blum, have the ability of gaining 1 more spot on their Ragnite that they can carry. It's actually pretty nice. Now that the potential that just went off, pretty much that's either a buff or a debuff, depending on if it was blue or red. The red ones are pretty much bad. If something bad happens, either their damage output's gonna be low, or they lose HP because of an environment they're in. Yeah. But the potential one, that's a buff, so she actually will gain damage. Oh, come on. I'm actually wanting to go capture this base. They can sit on there for a little bit. Do I want to throw an aid? But there we go. This is much better. I would much rather do this, because I can hit all 6 of you. Alright. But you do have to sit there for the whole thing to go away, though. Unfortunately. But pretty much with these enemies... Oh, wait. Now I'm trying to remember what... Oh gosh, I lost my train of thought, and I feel bad about that. Ugh. I'm bad about doing that. I'm incredibly sorry. Ugh. How about this? To make up for it, you get to see a rocket launcher. Oh yeah. Freaks people out. Yeah, if they have the little sweat marks above their head, or if they have a skull over their head, I believe the skulls is that they're like they have fear, and the sweat marks is like they're terrified, I guess is one way to put it. Well, not terrified, but they have this... I really don't know how to put it. They'll just end up taking more damage. I forget the name of that status element. I know that one's Rage, that's sitting above that commander's head. That they'll do more damage, but they take more damage. But anyway, once you clear out an area, you will capture a base, and no longer will enemies appear as reinforcements from that, and you also get replenishment to your secondary weapons. So you don't have to worry about conserving every bit of your secondary, because unless there isn't any of the bases, but usually with a place you will actually have a secondary base somewhere. Also, the sappers in this are your healers. Like this, it will heal nearby allies while knocking an enemy back. It doesn't seem like much, but it's actually a nice heal. Let me see if I can get around these enemies. Alright, yeah. Everyone come on. I want to do spread wind here. Oh, that actually hurt. Not too much, though. And boom, all my people have, including Sarah, have upgraded action gauges. Well, upgraded. Faster action gauges, I should say. And basically, from that, the action gauge will recharge way faster, so I don't have to wait as long to be able to use another attack. That's pretty much all that is. Oh, that's a lot of landmines. Also, sappers. They are the ones that can disarm the landmines. There's also a type of grenade you can eventually make that will make that kind of thing a little bit useless, but hey. Alright. How about eat some rocket launcher? Yeah, that that is them being terrified that I just pulled out a rocket launcher and probably annihilated most of them. Yeah. Not sure why exactly it just stopped. That's the one thing I'm not sure about the Cyclone. It tends to do that. Don't know why. But, anyway. Also, as your morale goes up, your action gauge will increase faster as well. Which is an interesting thing. But, and this is on... the morale in this game is actually pretty important, but I've never actually had a big problem with it. So I don't know. It will go down if you take a significant hit, or if a certain enemy pops up, like a boss or something, then it will tend to go down just a little bit. I guess it's so it doesn't make you completely overpowered over the boss. I don't know. But at any rate, I instilled fear in the enemy. Of course I did. But why were you there? Ugh. Anyway, Ophelia is a scout. She's got really fast attacks, but she doesn't do as much damage. The shocks do slower and heavier attacks. Sappers are your magic casters, basically, and the shields are the people that you tend to want to have to draw attention. But Ophelia has these special abilities called Galders, which can do one of two things. One, depending on the actual Galder. This one can heal and prevents panic, fear, confusion, surprise. And cures it, which is nice. And this one actually removes the range and resolve from enemies and also makes them panic, which is actually kind of nice. Alright, let's actually just dish out some damage there. But, as you notice, despite using a ton of spells, the blue bar, which is your how much magic you've got left, is still pretty high. And the reason for that is the fact that this game allows you to regenerate your magic based on you just doing normal attacks. Oh my gosh. How about no? She's got a smart smoke grenade, which will make it so they can't really see us. Which will incredibly help. Oh gosh, oh. Yeah, that guy's a big pain. And that's what happens if someone gets knocked down. You pick them up, and they regain their health. Oh gosh, that was not cool. I'm glad I actually used the what was it? Gosh, I can't even. The smoke grenade. Otherwise, we would have been attacked by a lot more. Probably had almost our entire party knocked out because of that. But yeah, these tanks, they're going to be a lot harder to take out, but you can immobilize them, which will certainly help, to say the least. Alright, let's try this again. No? Really? Man. Oh, gosh. Let's just deal with this. Oh, I got an achievement. How about that? Oh, really? Fine. Get out, please. Ophelia. And you can actually also give commands for your other units as well. And her spells, they'll either interact with your whole party or all the enemies. So, alright, we got rid of them. Alright. Just take care of that guy. And hopefully deal some damage to this fool. Because I'm not a fan of you and your shenanigans. Oh, thank you. Alright, oh. Can I actually do this? Oh. Well... Huh. Okay. That happened. I actually meant to do a lot more damage than that, but... I guess that's what happens when I'm not completely understanding the... Where are you going, Missy? Oh my gosh. Sometimes I don't understand this. And it's becoming nighttime, which is troublesome. Oh, that's why you came up here. And when nighttime comes and the Valkyria is gonna... the Valkyria is gonna show up, and then you start hearing singing. This is gonna be fantastic if she shows up. Oh boy. I've had it turn night, and I've finished the mission before she actually showed up, so... At the rate this is going, it's gonna be well into the night, so... That's gonna be something else entirely. I like this move. It actually does a lot of damage to the tanks. Which is nice. Alright, we recaptured this base, which is very helpful. And enemy reinforcements arrive. Of course they do. Why wouldn't they? Oh, what are you doing? They're walking into a wall. How about I throw a grenade?
Keep it up. Didn't have what it takes. Bad feeling.
Before you attack me. Oh my gosh. Look at all those bad guys! How about a grenade?
Keep it up.
Oh yeah, I'm just going to take them out. No problem. Actually, probably might have some problems. Hopefully not many. But yeah, these tanks, they can be a problem. They're not too bad. I've actually fought worse, but these guys are actually pretty bad. Especially if you get into an area where there's like 6 of them. Because that was one of the... It was actually liberating this place. That you had to deal with fighting all of them. Alright, and as you can see, I ran out of magic, so I'm having to just kind of attack with my normal attack here to rebuild my magic pool. But Didn't need it. And the Valkyria didn't show up, which was nice. Unfortunately, my time on that was not that great. But since I defeated all the enemies, I got a rank out of it. And
Now I'm even
then after
stronger.
that, everyone gets some experience. But the people who participated in the fight actually get more, which seems correct in that regard. And it will give you a list of all the different Ragnite you actually got, which is pretty nice. Because look, at all of this, we got all of that just from that one mission. It's pretty nice. So you don't always have to go and buy some new Ragnite to level up your stuff, but it does help to kind of, like I said, top it off. Good grief. This is already
What's the matter?
close to being an hour long. And, of course, you always want to check after your missions to do the report. And as you can see, I actually did 4 of them. So we captured 2 bases, so we get a reward
Well
with
done.
that. Get 200 on our currency there. We get an
Well done.
item by felling enemies with water alchemy. We knocked down
Well done.
ourselves a few tanks, so we got that. Fill enemies by rifle, so we get our reward on that. And so each time you complete one, another one shows up, so you're never going to run out. As far as this goes, well, you're exchanging shards of Ragnite for actual Ragnite that you can use. So, like, you would get 10 from this and 20 for this, and you can exchange that for this. I would say go for something that's specific, like the higher end ones, the 20s, and not just go for a random, unless you just have nothing else to do for it. The first one I did was a high purity Ragnite, and I really like it. So. And also, after each time you go through a mission, you want to go check with the lady that you did the commission on, and she'll actually give you the item she made. And this will, it's always just within the span of one mission. You don't have to do like 2 or 3.
Look at
It's just
that.
always one. So she made the cross gloves. We can pick those up. How about that? She knew who was making this video, apparently. And as you can see, each material does something different in each category. So with a code, it'll be gun resistance, but this is guard strength up, launcher ammo up, and mine resistance. A little bit of something different. Now there is actually a trophy for doing a special type of trying to think of the name, for actually doing a certain amount of commissions from the workshop. You actually get a certain amount of it. I think it's like 30, and then you can then go from there, and it'll give you a trophy. This is kind of like cutscenes between your crew, and this is between the 5 friends. And it's basically little small cutscenes that'll happen here and there between them, and it can be pretty funny, I'll be honest. It can actually be pretty funny. Not all of it's funny, but I'll be honest, there are some people in this game that just irritate me to no end. Oh boy. It's just, and they're a part of the group too. I guess also one thing I could touch up on is the cemetery that's at the bottom here. If any of your people die during battle, and I believe all but the main character and Ophelia, who is the princess, if they actually die, you get a game over. I haven't had that happen. They've been knocked down, but they haven't actually died. But if anyone other than those two actually die, their names will be at the cemetery, and you can go visit it, and it'll have their names on it. Which is kind of depressing. This is the bar where a whole bunch of people will show up, including a certain one of our party members. So there's that as well. And
What's the matter?
one last thing. I thought I was going to get to more missions, but apparently not.
Wonderful.
As you can see, hey, Ruse retreated. And there we go. And all this changed. And so you can kind of look around the map. But as you can see, there's a lot to this area. So I'm hoping eventually, I already did one of the free missions up here because after it got taken, unfortunately it's not very frequent, so I'm hoping that I can change that to where it'll happen and I can actually retake it. So yeah, and even though there was actually a free mission here, we actually never took Gloston because we actually, story-wise, we suffered a loss. So there was that. But anyway, I don't want to spoil too much of this story because, honestly, I do kind of want to encourage you guys to pick it up. But if you actually do want me to play through this game, just let me know by clicking a like or saying something in the comments. Hey, that always helps. And honestly, this is a fantastic game, and I actually would love to play it at some point in its entirety. But I will say this, if you're not a big fan on storytelling, this game is not going to be it, because this has a lot of storytelling, and very little of it's actually fighting. But I've had times where it was like 3 hours worth of just doing the battles that I had just shown to keep Ruse pushed back, because they just kept showing up, and it was never just where it was free battles and I can go do the story mission. Because if you actually, like I said earlier, if you don't actually deal with those battles, they'll take the territory back. So anyway, I'll leave it at that, and I just want to thank you all for watching, and I'm not quite sure what we're going to do for the next game night, but we'll see. See you guys later.